Hello everyone, Andy Wolverton here. I hope you are all doing well. And the past couple of weeks I've had some people contact me saying, I've watched your videos and I see all those books behind you, so when are you going to talk about them? Well, right now. I thought I would go through some of the books I have on film noir, and I even have my Film Noir Film Festival My Happy Place shirt to get me in the mood for a little noir talking. Okay, now, these are some of the books I have on film noir. It's not all of them. Some of these are my favorites, and some of these are ones that I use the most for research. Now, I only own a fraction of what's out there in film noir. You can find hundreds of books about film noir, many of them. I only have a few, really, not that many, but I'll be glad to share what I have. And maybe these are ones that you might consider checking out. In most cases, these are pretty readily available books. In a couple of cases, I'll tell you the ones that are not, and maybe some places you can find the copies. Okay, so the very first book I read when I got interested in film noir was this book, The Dark Side of the Screen, Film Noir by Foster Hirsch. Now this is a book that a lot of people go to as their first book on film noir, which is what I did. The great thing about this is Foster Hirsch goes into the origins and the influences of noir, covering themes, motifs, actors, directors, source material, and more. It's really a comprehensive book, and it's not that long, so it's something that you can get into fairly quickly. Lots of photos, a lot of great photography in this book. So The Dark Side of the Screen is essential reading. You really need to own that in your film noir library. Next up, I've got a book from the master himself, Eddie Muller. You've no doubt already encountered Muller either through TCM's Noir Alley or one of his DVD Blu-ray commentaries, or maybe even you've met him at a Noir City Film Festival. You could have met him virtually last year during Noir City's International Virtual Film Festival, which was dynamite. But Muller's book, Dark City, The Lost World of Film Noir, is a great book for understanding and appreciating the world of film noir. Now, Muller takes the reader through a journey through the dark city itself. He stops off to visit the precinct, where he talks about cop films. We go to Vixenville, where we might meet a femme fatale or two, and there's lots of other great stops all along the way. All of this book is written in a hard-boiled style. It's kind of like reading a hard-boiled novel. And again, this book has tons of pictures, great photography, just a really outstanding book. Now, I have good news and I have bad news, like I did last time. The bad news is that this edition of Dark City is currently out of print and is going for some pretty high prices. The good news is a revised, expanded edition is planned for a July 6th release, and you see the picture of that in the corner over there. So, this edition is going to be greatly updated and expanded. There's going to be 3 new chapters. Muller is updating some of the other chapters as well. So this is one that you do not want to miss. So here's how you can get a copy of that. First, you need to go to the Larry Edmunds online bookstore, and that's www.larryedmunds.com. And once you get there, you'll go to the product page, and you'll probably see it. You don't have to scroll down very far to see the new Dark City, Lost World of Film Noir. You can pre-order that right now. It's at a really great price. And you can also have it autographed by Eddie Muller. So you can't beat that. So get on that now. You will be glad you did. The first one that I just showed you went out of print. This one could go out of print just as quickly. Don't miss out. Do get a copy of that. But I have more Eddie Muller for you. We have The Art of Noir, the posters and graphics from the classic era of film noir. So yeah, again, this is another book by Muller. This one focusing primarily on film posters. Now, this volume covers how each studio handled the visual promotion of their movies through posters. Not just that, but we also get a look at how different countries promoted these films through various poster sizes, styles, and marketing methods. And if you've not really spent much time looking at the international posters for film noir, this book is going to open up a whole new world for you. Here's just a couple of samples of what we have inside the book. There's a great poster of Kiss Me Deadly, and then there is Oh My Gun Is Quick, focusing on the Mickey Spillane stuff. Here's a couple of Mitchum pictures. Let's see if we can get into maybe some of the other stuff. Okay, yeah, there's a great French poster. There's so many great posters from other countries. I love the Italian posters, especially. They're just outstanding. You will spend hours looking at this, but those hours are going to fly by. Highly recommend The Art of Noir. Okay, now I wasn't really going to talk about noir fiction today, but this is a timely announcement. You should know that there is a great sale going on right now at the Library of America website. So if you don't own these books, there is a 2-volume set called American Noir. There is, let's see if I have this here. I do. There is a great volume called Women Crime Writers, a 2-volume set. This is spectacular. So this is part of the sale. There's a 2-volume set of Raymond Chandler books, a 2-volume Dashiell Hammett set, and a 3-volume Ross McDonald set. Now, all of these sets on the Library of America website are on sale at 30% off. But right now they have a coupon code that will deduct an additional 20% off. So you're getting these sets at half price. So if you go to the Library of America website, the coupon code is SETS 2021. That's all caps, SETS 2021. That will give you an additional 20% off. So you can't beat that. And I think that's only going on for a few more days. So if you're watching this, jump on it quickly. So I didn't really cover very much except for the sale books at Library of America, any fiction. I'm also not covering any graphic novels this time around, but maybe I'll do that in a future video. Okay, next book we have, and I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. So if you have any questions, you can always leave a note in the comments. I'll be glad to talk to you about those. So we've got In Lonely Places, Film Noir Beyond the City by Imogen Sarah Smith. Now, this is exactly what it says. These are film noir films, pictures that are taking place not in New York, not in Los Angeles, not in any big cities. They are either in smaller places or in other countries. It's a tremendous book. Now, if you've read any of Smith's other work, probably maybe in Noir City e-magazines or the annuals, you know that she is one of the best, maybe the best writer on films. And I'm not just talking about film noir. She's just a tremendous writer on film, period. She also does a lot of great Blu-ray commentaries on several noir titles. And this book is one of the finest that you can get about film noir developing in other places outside of city locations. It's a must-own. Now, this and at least one more book I'm going to talk to you about is from McFarland Publications. Those books are a little bit on the pricey side, but McFarland frequently has sales. So if you go to their website and you sign up for their newsletters, they will send you information when something is coming on sale. When something is on sale, they're usually really good sales, so jump on those. Okay, my next book is Crime Movies, An Illustrated History by Carlos Clarens. Now, I have an older edition of this book, and it's got Bogart on the cover, which I love. There is an updated edition that came out in the 90s that has a shot of John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. That's a great one, too. I found this one pretty cheap, so I've held on to it. This talks not only about film noir, but spends a good bit of time talking about gangster films, too, and how noir developed from some of the elements that are used in gangster films. Crime movies. Good book. Okay. Next, a book that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but it's really good. It's called Blackout, World War II and the Origins of Film Noir by Sherry Chinnen Beeson. This is a book that just does exactly what it says. It talks about what was going on during World War II, what was going on culturally, not just here, but also in Europe, and how those things that were changing the world changed film noir. This is worth picking up, and I hope you'll take a look at it. Blackout, World War II, and the Origins of Film Noir. Okay, here's one that is a lot of fun. I have a great time with this book. It's called Death on the Cheap, The Lost B-Movies of Film Noir. Do check that one out. And this is by, who's it by? Arthur Lyons. So what this will do is it will give you a synopsis and some photographs too of a lot of B movies that you maybe never have heard of, or maybe you have heard of, but everything in here is worth taking a look at. Now, yeah, a lot of these movies are not that good, but you're going to want to check them out, at least some of them. So what I really love to do is to go through these, and you can see that I've got several marked to check out. I like to go through here and see if any of these are streaming on any services, and you're probably going to find them on YouTube. But this is a great resource for those hard-to-find films or those noir titles that you just never heard of. Okay, next. Anybody that's seen any film noir at all is familiar with the name John Alton. And if you're familiar with him, I highly recommend his book, Painting with Light. Now, this book originally appeared many years ago, either in the late 40s or early 50s. And it really doesn't focus that much on film noir, but it does focus on Alton's philosophy of lighting films. And I recommend this book even to people that just don't even care anything about film noir or movies, but want to learn more about photography, because essentially that's what he's teaching here. And he has some really groundbreaking techniques for the time that still work today. There were so many things in here that have not changed one bit from when he wrote them back in the 40s. So Painting with Light may be kind of hard to find, may be a little pricey, but worth it. Okay, so let's talk about books on individual movies. So there are so many movies that have had books written about them, and a lot of those are film noir titles. And some of those are, big titles that you've heard of, like the recent book on Chinatown, and some that you may not have heard of as much. So I'm giving you a little bit of everything here. The first book I have is Heaven and Hell to Play With: The Filming of The Night of the Hunter. And this book is by Preston Neal Jones. This book is solid. When I presented this film to my Great Movies audiences, again, a lot of text and a fair amount of photos, really nice photos. This book really helped me to really understand the ins and outs. This is everything you really do want to know about The Night of the Hunter. How it came into production, the shooting, what Mitchum was like, how crazy he went, what Charles Laughton was like, why this is the only film Charles Laughton ever directed. This is definitely worth your time. Now, there is another book on Night of the Hunter, which I have not read, but I've also heard great things about that as well. Next, I've got a book that came out fairly recently, a couple of years ago, and that is Mosby Confidential, Arthur Penn's Night Moves and the Rise of Neo-Noir by Matthew Asprey Geer. This is a really good book, not just about Night Moves, which is a tremendous film, and if you haven't seen it, you need to get the Warner Archive Blu-ray as soon as you possibly can. One of the best neo-noir films of all time. So take a look at the film first and then read the book. But the book does a really great job of introducing what neo-noir is, how we went from film noir, the classic era, to neo-noir. Highly recommend this one. Mosby Confidential. Next, I've got another one by Eddie Muller. Not a big surprise. This one is Gun Crazy, The Origin of American Outlaw Cinema. Again, by Eddie Muller and designed by Michael Cronenberg, who does great, great work, which you'll see here. Again, this book is entirely devoted to Gun Crazy, the production, how the script developed, the King brothers, who made a lot of low-budget films. There's just so much in here that is just, for a lower budget film, Gun Crazy, this really is the Bible on exactly how that film got made, why it is so significant, and you can't miss it. Now, you cannot buy this on Amazon. This is from Blackpool Productions. So if you just Google Blackpool Productions, you will see this book and a lot of other outstanding books. All of them are worth your time. So, how about just maybe a handful of books on film noir actors? Now, here's one that my friend Ann Hawkins, I know, is a big fan of. And this is Dan Duryea, Heal with a Heart by Mike Peros. Now, you may not know it, but I mean, you know Dan Duryea if you've seen any of these films and know that he was just a complete heel in just about every one of those films. You think about Scarlet Street, you think about Woman in the Window, you think about Crisscross. So many films where he played just a really nasty bad guy. But you'll be surprised to find out that he was not quite that way in real life. This is a good one. This one comes from the University Press of Mississippi. I also would get on their email list because they also have some really good deals from time to time, and you can pick this one up on the cheap. Next we have Charles McGraw, film noir tough guy. They don't get much tougher than him. And this is by Alan K. Rode, who you would know if you were familiar with the film noir, Noir City Film Festivals. Rode has written this book and the great, great book on Michael Curtiz that came out a couple of years ago and is now out in paperback. So a great, great book. Look at Charles McGraw. Not a long book, but very, very good. Goes through his entire career, what he was like. Don't miss this one either. This is also a McFarlane book, so you can pick it up, and if you find it during a sale, even better. Now, probably my favorite film noir biography of a person that did a lot of film noir. Of course, that's not all he did, but that is Robert Mitchum, Baby, I Don't Care. Oh man, such a great book, and this is a lot of material in here. I believe this is 600 pages, almost 600 pages. Mitchum is just such a great character, just a great actor. All of his shenanigans are in here, and there are quite a few of those. It talks about Mitchum's growing up, which is highly disputed, even by Mitchum. There are so many different tales about where he came from and what he did before he hit the movies. And every movie is addressed. Highly, highly recommend this one. Robert Mitchum, Baby, I Don't Care. Okay, now let's take a look at a couple of reference books, because if you're really into film noir, which you probably are if you're still watching this video, you're going to want to get a couple of these reference books. So, this first one is the Film Noir Encyclopedia. And if you are a serious noir hound, you're going to run across the names Alain Silver and James Ursini frequently. There are other collaborators on here as well. But everything they write is well worth reading. And this resource covers every major film noir and neo-noir. So it's got the classics and some of the more recent titles. This book may be a little hard to find. If you look for it on Amazon, the prices are a little bit inflated right now. I don't know if it's going to go through another edition. If it does, jump on it. If you find it used, jump on it. Film Noir Encyclopedia. And next, I have a book that is not out of print, and you can do your workout to this one. This is the Comprehensive Encyclopedia of Film Noir, The Essential Reference Guide by John Grant. Now, this is a book that no true film noir fan is going to want to be without. This is a massive reference book. So what Grant does is he gives you brief overviews and reviews of worldwide film noir titles, starting in the pre-noir era, going all the way to the book's publication date of 2013. Now, you may have some quibbles about what he decides to call film noir or neo-noir, but everything in here is at least, as I say, noir stained. I literally use this book every day, and I can't imagine life without it. Okay, getting close to the end here, we've got something that everybody should be a part of or should know about, and that is the Noir City Annuals. Now, if you haven't bought any Noir City Annuals, you need to do that, but there's something else you need to do as well, which I'll talk about in just a moment. This is the best of the Noir City e-magazine that comes out quarterly. So if you're not getting that, you really should do that. And that's super easy to do. That is $20 a year, and that will get you 4 issues, comes out quarterly, of great writing on film noir delivered to your inbox. Now, the advantage of that is you're going to get everything in the e-magazines doesn't always make it into the print. The print is about half of what gets into the e-magazine. So if you get the annual, which you should, you're only getting about half of what the content is in the e-magazines. The great thing about the e-magazines is it has links to clips from films and other things that you can access through, that you can't access through, obviously, just in print. So it's great. So you do need to really get both, because you want to get the online version and you want to get the print version. Okay, you can get this by going to the Film Noir Foundation website, and that's filmnoirfoundation.org. You can also purchase back issues of the e-magazine. And you're going to be helping the Film Noir Foundation, which is a great thing. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you is actually not a book, but it is a newsletter called The Dark Pages, the newsletter for film noir lovers. And I contribute to this from time to time, and it is published by my good friend Karen Hansberry, and I hope that you will check this out. And you can do that by going to allthatnoir.com. You can request a sample issue for free, or you can buy individual e-newsletters as well. So again, this is a print publication, but you can also get the e-version as well. So, The Dark Pages, don't miss that. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for now. Again, there's so much more out there, and I just really scratched the surface of what is out there, and really scratched the surface of what I have. There's more stuff out there. But if you would like to leave your favorites in the comments below, that would be awesome as well. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time.